Alright, hey folks, I am running a little behind. I just finished up the briefing with the pilot club, so now I'm getting the stream set up. Make sure that everything is working. All right, cool, Bean. I think we're good to go. So,
All right, fellas, have a good flight.
You too, boss. All right, so the pilot club, I'm in a Discord chat with them right now, and I'm going to walk you guys through what we're going to be doing today. Now, I got my layout, my keyboard, my my hardware setup's a little different, so it's going to take me a little bit to make my transitions. So let's do a little bit of flight planning. Alright, so let me see here. So this particular, let me see. This is the actual document here. Sorry, I'm looking at my monitor again to see if it is transitioning the way it should be. Okay, it is. It's just always going slower than what I think. Okay, so here we have the second part of California, and this one we're going to be traveling from Santa Barbara Municipal, and we're going to, I don't know if you guys can see that too well. We're going to fly through LAX airspace, and we're going to be using a coastal route transition in order to not get dinged by ATC. And we're going to do a stop and go at Catalina Island. We're going to depart from there and head over to Brown Field Municipal in San Diego, but because there's another Bravo airspace, we're going to use a different corridor or set of rules to fly through there. This right here is the coastal route. So let me show you on BatSim or SkyVector what that looks like. Actually, hold on a minute. Let's see here. Pilot. So let me sign in. Let me connect to. I'm using a P28S. Using the Cherokee because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to fly. And word on the street, it looks like there's no ATC coverage right now, which is weird because we thought we would have some coverage with LAX. So it's possible that we might do this whole flight without having to even talk to ATC. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so here is, where am I? That's San Diego. Let's get to Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is over here. So we're going to be coming from the west, and you have this blue you have this blue frame right here. This is basically the Bravo airspace. And in order to fly through the Bravo airspace without getting dinged by ATC, we're going to be following these red lines, these red arrows. In order for us to know where the red arrow is, we have this right here. This is the LAX VOR. It's 113.6. Its ICAO code is LAX, and this is its Morse code. And we're going to be coming in on the 323. Here it says it. Here it shows it right here. 323 radial. So we're going to be flying over here, and then we're going to make sure that we're on the 323 radial, and then we're going to start flying through this airspace. Once we get to the VOR, we then switch to the 123 radial, and we're going to continue flying that way. Our point of interest is going to be the Vincent Thomas Bridge. So when we get to the Vincent Thomas Bridge, we're going to start heading south to Catalina Island. We were able to find this by looking at the VFR or the TAC Terminal Area Chart for Los Angeles. And it has some information. Where it is? Here it is. So this is the coastal route, VFR only. They give you just a simplified version, just so you have an idea of what you should be looking for. And then down here they have northbound instructions and southbound instructions. They have others. So this is the special flight rules area. This is mini route. If you want to fly that, this is the Coliseum route. And then they have those instructions. I don't know what the actual instructions are. I just focused on the coastal route that we're doing. And we have the same concept with San Diego. San Diego has their VFR corridor. Oops. And we have some instructions to follow that as well. So let's see what we can do while we're in the air. I chose this plane because it has autopilot, so we can continue taking a look at this while we're making progress on the flight. So right now, let's go ahead and focus on getting this bad boy started. Let me... Very different. So I did not test my settings. It's like I'm looking for... I mean, it looks like it's working. Okay. Yeah, I'm able to look down. Yeah, okay. We're good there. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. I'm starting later than I wanted, so I'm not going to do a full run up. Ooh, my controls are not working. So let's see if I have the right profile. It is, but I want the... I've got the Arrow 2 with no GPS. Alright, so let's see now. Ooh, this is interesting. Not working. Let me see. I was looking for my throttle. Oh, it's not plugged in. Oh, the lights are on. Oh, okay. I know what happened. I unplugged this device earlier because I was still messing around with the setup. So let me open up SPAD next again, and it'll then register. There is an update available. Let us skip it right now. Last thing we need to do is try and do an update live. That never works out. Alright, so no GPS. Let's check out the throttle. Alright, throttle seems to be... Okay, cool. Things seem to be back to normal. Let's get the stuff. I'm gonna put on my... Well, no, there is a timer. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. We're on the right fuel tank. Okay with that. Actually, I don't know what we're doing fuel tank wise. Let's take a look at our... Got about 60% fuel. Okay, we're good with that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some of this stuff from memory. Make sure that the parking brake is on. It wants the rudders, pedals, what is this called? Propeller. The propeller to be up. This one's up by a little bit. The mixture, we won't do the mixture until we actually start. Alright, so power, alternator, we're gonna put our beacon on. And we're going to, I think we're just gonna go ahead and try and start it. Fuel pump. I don't think something's not on. My battery's not on. Oh, that is interesting. Very interesting. It seemed to, I don't know. So, my hardware is acting funny. Okay, so now that we have the battery on, this should be able to...
Man, I love the Diamond. It's such an agreeable airplane to fly.
I'm going to turn that off.
That's too slow.
Alright, let's go ahead and make sure that the RPMs are not super high. This throttle is very sensitive.
I care more about stability than I care about speed.
Alright, let's go ahead and take a look
Flipping
at...
along at a 125 indicated.
to that
Doing just fine.
Yes, I'm still connected. Alright, good deal. So 122.
My buddy took me up on a rental of one of those things. Man, they're hard to get into.
There is a center that's open.
There's like no elbow room whatsoever.
Not our
The only experience I have flying an actual aircraft is
that's Salt Lake
it's either
City.
a Diamond Star or the smaller the Katana Star.
I'm gonna
I think
go
it is.
on radio silence with the Discord's channel until we get up in the air and get going. Okay, so 122.8 is the comm that we're looking for. The volume is up. Comm 1 is we are listening. This is already set. I thought I turned it off. Apparently I did not. Alright, so let's get our pitot heat on. Let's turn on... I guess this... Nope, nothing. I'm just looking at my gauges. I think we're okay. We'll leave it for right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a METAR. Nope, that's not how we get a METAR. Let's see what the weather's like at this place and see which runway we're going to take off from. So the current wind is 120, directional 120, 5 knots. Great. So now the question is, what are the runways that are available for this place? So let's go ahead and check it out. I'm gonna go use, I think it was ChartFox. I'm gonna try and use that until I can get myself I think it was a Navigate, SBA, I think it's SBA. It's that Small Business Association. And Santa Barbara, alright, I did it right. Okay, so 120 is the direction where the wind is coming from. So 120, if I'm looking, I'm kind of looking in my, trying to visualize the, trying to visualize the heading indicator. Is there one that's already north? For this one, which you can't see it, so let me try and take that off. Alright, so this we'll pretend this is a heading indicator pointing north, south, east, and west. 120 is this 12 over here, so the wind is coming from a southeast direction, so 120. So let's take a look at our options and see which one is the best one. So 120, so anything that's really close to 12, which in this case is 15. So we're going to take 15 left or 15 right. So we're parked over here by the transient GA parking FBO. I guess we can say south parking. And we're going to taxi using Bravo all the way, and then to 15L. And that's what we're going to do. Alright, let's get back on. And let me just verify that I'm going to put in a flight plan, KSBA our what's our destination? It is KSDM. KSDM. Alternate airport? I don't think we have one. Right now the time is 20:30 local time, so it is 00:30. So we're going to depart 00:45. Let's just do 40, 00:40. Let's just estimate that the time is about an hour and 30. I'm not really doing anything hardcore right now. My speed will be 130 knots, and we'll go with cruising altitude. So, operated by the pilotclub.org. Alright, so we're good on the flight plan. That's there. Alright, so I think we're all good. And let's say Santa Barbara traffic, Piper Tango Papa Charlie 444, radio contact. I think I just want to know if anyone hears me. I think I'm just asking if anyone hears me on this channel. Over. Because the last thing I want to do is just talk to myself. Alright, so now let me open up Discord and see if they can hear me. Hey fellas, I was just transmitting on 122.80. Did you guys hear me?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, negative.
Alright,
Where are you?
I'm
It's in the ground, right?
I'm on the ground, yeah.
Yeah, we're probably too far already.
Yeah, we're probably already too
Terrain
far.
blocked already, something.
Gotcha, you guys booked it. Alright, sounds good. So, actually, you know what? Before I continue, let me try and take a screenshot of the attendance before I forget. I've got those guys there. Okay. I took that screenshot, yay. Now let's get out of here. Santa Barbara traffic, Piper Tango Papa Charlie 444, taxiing to runway 15 left. Santa Barbara traffic.
Yeah, this
Alright, so let's
some of these clouds off our 12 look significantly less avoidable than the batch we just flew through.
It definitely
Totally
builds
agree.
up in this area.
Alright, so everything
I'm having
looks fine.
decent success at 5,500, although I might have to be forced to climb here in a bit. We'll see.
Yeah. I have to.
Alright, and let's work
I'm
with
at 7,500 and I think I'm gonna have to go up.
I've been using the timer
You
lately.
said you're at 7,500. You're gonna have to go up as well.
Yeah, I can't
Oh,
see
wow.
that time.
Anybody behind me?
Yeah, this
Yeah, I'm at 55 when I'm flying around
lots
them,
of-
but yeah,
lots of
the
trucks
ones at 12
there.
o'clock look pretty big.
it's just got a little more interesting.
Yeah, I'm a couple miles northwest of Oxnard proper.
Gonna have them push me
It's
back.
Like, looks like a, I don't know,
So
a bit
let's
of
go
a
ahead and get a
cornfield maze.
pushback going. Let's take off my parking brake.
I think
Looks
we're
like they're
gonna have
hugging the shore,
Is
though.
that not working either? When did
Yeah, I'm
my
sure once we get
controls
through it,
change?
Further out, it's clear.
So this is
Getting through is the
weird.
trick.
Let me take a look at something, because I didn't change it. That's number 2, and yeah, look at that. It's not set. How did that happen? Alright, that's fine. We'll just do it manually. Let's see if anyone is still oh. Whoa. Let's get some help pushing this thing back. Okay, that was an accident waiting to happen. Let's go ahead and get some turning. Slow this down a little bit. Make sure that we're doing things safe.
Now I'm basically having to do a 360 trying to climb above them.
Nobody behind
There's
us.
a gap out here that I can shoot.
Alright, cool. So we're good on that pushback. Go ahead and taxi.
Yeah, once you get over the kind of the big puffies, just right on top of the Oxnard airfield, you're pretty much good. It thins out real fast.
Alright, Alright, so we're at about 15... It's 1500 RPM to slow it down a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
I should have my
That was on,
landing lights
CTAP,
on
though,
at
be
least.
careful.
Oops.
Yeah, that restricted area is up to unlimited altitude, so you can't fly through it anyway.
So we're on the Bravo taxiway right now because that's in the black. There is a plane in front of me. So let us get out of the way. I didn't even look over to my right. I am a terrible taxi. Who's that guy? Get out of here. Alright, so it's 15. So because we still have two numbers, that means we're not at the end. Oh, but there is, look at this. We're crossing runway 7 and 25. So let's go ahead and check. Santa Barbara traffic, Piper, Tango Papa Charlie 444, crossing runway 25 via taxi Bravo. Santa Barbara traffic. Alright, so it seems like
Well,
we're okay.
I said it thins out, but it kind of builds up again toward point to go.
Yeah, I'm
It's a little, I mean, I'm sadly disappointed there's no coverage. Would have been nice to talk to these guys tonight, but you know, it's what it is.
might be
Safely.
might be about to VFR and IMC just a little bit.
Now look at the flag here. It looked like
That's fine.
it changed direction.
9500 is nice and clear.
Let's see. Either it changed, no, it didn't change direction, so maybe I just made the wrong calculations. I don't know. Okay, so here we are. Here's runway 15L. That means we're at the end of it. Go ahead and park. Alright, let's put up one flap. There we go. Let's turn on some of our other lights. We have strobe, nav. Let me just make sure that those work. They did not work. Okay, so we'll just do this manually. So which one is this? I believe this is the beacon that's on the tail. Okay.
All right, I claim the first screenshot of the event.
Huzzah!
So,
Santa Barbara
Screenshots
traffic,
change.
Piper,
Even a
Tango
little
Papa
peek at the
Charlie
airfield through the clouds.
444, ready for takeoff, runway 15 left. Santa Barbara traffic. And there goes another plane, and I mean, I didn't see it. I did look over there. I don't know what's going on. It seems like this is a very common thing now. You know what? I'm sorry. This hardware...
We are going to need to eventually get back below 4,500 according to the
It's
flywheel.
very simple, but it's going to bother me. So let me fix my parking situation. So this is
So
a
right after
button
point to go,
press.
it looks like the clouds start
We're gonna add the
disappearing.
action,
Yeah, I can already see LA.
and we're looking for parking. Uh-oh. Looking for parking brakes.
I think I was looking around Malibu Beach. It's maximum 5,000, and
parking
then
brake
the
is
coastal
on.
transitions up at 5,500
Okay, now it's off.
plus,
Okay,
right?
we're fixed.
Yeah, it does. You do have to kind of climb up
Just make
into the
sure.
class Bravo, I guess.
And we're just gonna go ahead and just bang it out. We're not gonna do any stops. Let me go ahead and start this right now. And then try not to. Alright, there we go. Our roll speed is 70. We have plenty of space. We're at 70.
Surprising. Looks like no LA or ATCs.
Alright, we are airborne, and for that positive rate, let's put up our gear.
They're biding their time, watching them pounce.
Yeah, they're gonna log on while we're all right in the middle of it. It's gonna be
Yeah, it's probably what's gonna happen.
Hey, look at that sail right there. I'm gonna put up or put down my flap.
Yeah, my sim just crashed.
No.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Oh, that's rough, man.
Rest in peace, Polly.
That's a nice shot.
Just a little bit. Line those up. I might just turn on the lights. Nothing is turning on.
Alright, I've got point A in sight. It's a pretty obvious, like, triangular piece of beach.
Alright, so right now, we're working on climbing. We're headed east. Let's go ahead and set I'm looking at this right now, just making sure. So I'm climbing altitude, just making sure that I'm not going crazy. That is too high, so I'm pushing my nose down. So really right now I just want to set my heading indicator. This is east, right? I want to kind of... We'll start out east. So let's go ahead and set... None of those work. Okay. I'm going to turn the heading switch on. I'm going to turn the autopilot on. And that will start us in the right direction. Let's put this down just a little bit. The propeller speed. The RPMs. Okay, so we're still climbing. Alright, cool. So while that's happening, let's go ahead and take a look at our section. Let's see what we have to do. Where is my section? Alright, so we started out at Santa Barbara, which is,
Kind of between
this is Santa
Luma
Barbara.
and Malibu, about 4 miles to the north, is where they film MASH. Someone made a little airport.
and this is
One part like this.
one of our
Nice.
point of interest. Point Magoo naval base. So we're gonna go along this. We're gonna go along the coast, hit this one, and really, this over here is our intended spot. This is called Point Doom. So what we can do right now is let's try and get back to very far. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to tap into the VOR, the Ventura VOR, just to make sure that we're headed to the right place. So 108.2 is going to be our goal. So let me see if our nav is even working, because my hardware magically is doing its own thing. Okay, so 108.2. are going down, so that's good. 16 minutes. Audio does not
Who's over
work.
there in the Bravo?
Or maybe it does. Let's see. I'm not hearing any Morse code, so I can't verify that this is the right thing. Okay, so let's see.
What was it?
Still headed in the right direction. Oh, those clouds.
Oh, I guess I do see somebody.
Those clouds are interesting. So let's start descending and let's fly underneath those clouds. Alright, so at this point we're basically cruising, so let's put the RPMs down to 2300. I'm gonna lean my mixture down here. You can see my fuel, so you lean that a little bit to 10 gallons per hour. And I'm gonna set the manifold pressure down to about 28. Alright, so I'm not familiar with what's going on with this cloud situation. So let's take a look and see if we can get a some sort of so let me I want to set us at 500 feet per minute. Okay, so let's see if we can get a METAR report from one of those other. Nothing that I recognize. Alright. So let's go at 1,000. While we're doing that, let's tap into this thing here. Okay, so this would be the center of the VOR. So let's go ahead and work our way towards that center. Clouds. Sometimes I want to fly as if we don't have an instrument rating. So if that's the case, what I remember about clouds is you want to have a horizontal distance of 2,000 feet. And if you're flying underneath it, you should have 1,000 feet of distance. Flying above, I think it's 1,000 feet as well. We're going to go ahead and try and fly underneath these. I definitely am not even. I should have been paying attention, but we're definitely not going to clear that. So we're at 3,000 feet right now. But these are pretty low. Probably should have flown above it. I think that would have made more sense. Because now we're just going to be too low. Alright, so while that's happening, let me go ahead and see if we have ATC online. We currently do not. Currently do not. It's fine. So we're still on 122.8 traffic. There is the other. See if I can get the other one just on Palm 2 to see if it's even working. 120275. So let's switch to Palm 2. And let's go with 120275. So we're at 1,500 feet. So yeah, I don't think it was a good idea to go underneath. Next time, go above. We turn on the landing lights. Alright, that's not working. What is it? I'm not getting it. That's pitot heat. Landing. Alright, let's try not to crash. Ooh, that is low. So we would not have been able... I'm at 1,200 feet right now. That's... Alright, so according to this, the VOR is on our right-hand side. So let's continue. Going to the right in order to get it on our left-hand side. Pretty low. By the time we get to LAX, we should be at minimum 5,500 feet. So that's not going to work with us being this low. Now this VOR is still on our right hand side. So let's go ahead and change course. So now we're kind of intersecting the line, going towards the line. It should definitely start getting closer, and then we'll make an adjustment. Alright, so I'm playing with the pitch to make sure that we still have a good deal. So now let's go ahead and let's get to 120.
Turn down for we could land at Catalina.
Right. I'm sorry, you can't see any of this because I'm still sharing the sectional chart. Alright, so we're going to be climbing. The goal is to make it steady. Somewhere between 500 and 1,000 feet per minute. So I'm continuing to keep an eye on that. And we've been flying now for 14 minutes. So not a beautiful day to fly. Okay, kind of. Alright, so now let's rely on our instruments. So here we are 12 nautical miles out from that spot. Let's take a look at our sectional chart and see what that actually means. Excuse me. What that
Well,
means
traffic
for us.
output 17 is joining us.
Okay, so
close to
here is the
south.
VOR. We're probably somewhere out here because now it's on our left-hand side.
Yeah, I did.
So we're probably out here somewhere. And we want to continue going this way. So after we hit
Once that's
12,
haze
probably
broken to we'll be fine.
change it to like 150 and continue out that way. Now at this point, we are in Bravo airspace, so we need to get to 5,500 feet. So right now, let's just kind of focus. We have 10 nautical miles to go. Let's kind of focus on climbing. So instead of 1,000, I'm going to try and go 1,500 to 2,000. And our airspeed's going to drop, but at this point, it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter too much because I want us to get that climb. 5,000 feet. Continue. I don't want to exceed 15. I don't want to exceed 1,500. Alright, we're at 85 knots. I don't remember what the stalling speed is. I should, you know, it's so funny. And I think I've said this once before. Because this game allows you to fly all different kind of planes, you can't, it's a little hard to commit to memory some of the details of some of the planes. You kind of just have to do broad strokes. If I fly this plane all the time, then I should know it. But I don't fly this plane all the time. I try and fly different planes. Hey there. Hey, Cat. Cat and Black. Those clouds are pretty serious. And we made the mistake of going under instead of climbing above. So these clouds, I don't know if they like came out of nowhere, but I didn't check the weather properly. So there are a ton of clouds. So right now we're trying to get to 5,500 feet because we're getting close to that Bravo airspace. We are here. We're at almost 80 knots, and let's see how close we are. 6.8 nautical miles from that VOR, and so we're kind of on the gun, behind the gun a little bit. Hey, Dragonwind, washing those dishes. I appreciate you spending some time. Spending some time with me while you're washing dishes. So right now we're trying to get to that 5,500. We're almost at 5,000. I'm playing around with pitching my nose. So here we're at 500 to 1,000, but I also need to watch that airspeed. And I don't like what this is doing. Yeah, this is turning here. That means that there's some wind that it's trying to correct for. Autopilot's super helpful. So here, my airspeed's getting low. Dangerous, not dangerously low, but cautiously low. So I'm gonna go ahead and pitch the nose down a little bit. Here we're now dropping from 0 to 500 feet per minute. Pitching the nose down to pick up some airspeed. And then we're gonna continue the climb. So we're at 80 knots, so that's pretty good. Let's see what's going on. So there goes an airport below us. We're still about 4.5 nautical miles from that VOR. Let's see, it's just nothing but clouds. And this is why an instrument rating is good, because at this point you can't fly using your eyes. You gotta use those instruments. Okay, we're at 5,000 feet. We are steady climbing at 500 feet per minute, so let's take a look at the sectional. I've had the sectional on the whole time. Sorry guys. Okay, so now let's make sense of the sectional. So we're basically, this is the VOR that we are mapping or tracking. We're about 4 nautical miles from it, so we're probably, and this is indicating to us that it is to our left. So we're probably out here somewhere. Once we get there, we're going to continue going to this point, and we're already in that Bravo airspace. So now we're going to have to switch VORs. So let's set our next VOR to 113.6.
Oh man, I just ended at 5 minutes ago.
All right, so we're at the 55. So let's.
Very.
Yeah, same here. I don't know if we can move this legally.
So I'm going to set the auto altitude hold. I'm going to set the altitude hold, so
Yeah, we can't even shoot the
that'll
approach.
help us out. What I am going to do is kind of slow us down some. I'm going to set that RPM to 2,000. Set that manifold pressure down a little bit there, and just kind of slow us down. I don't want us making too much of a fuss. Okay, so 2 nautical 2 point. Is that going? Okay, this is subtracting 3 minutes out, so we still have some time. Can't see anything on the ground. Final destination
always
is a
overfly and see if
municipal
it goes anywhere.
somewhere. Let me see here. So this one, so the departure
It
was
got
Santa
worse
Barbara.
actually.
Then we're going to Catlina Airport, and then we're going to stop off at Brown
Yeah, we had it
Field
1 mile. Now we
Municipal,
have half a mile.
which is in San Diego.
Yeah, I can't do that.
So that would be
That
so over
sucks.
here. This is Catalina Island. Then we're gonna shoot off this way, and we're gonna end up coming through this Bravo airspace, and then we're gonna end up at this airport over here, Brown Field Municipal. All right, so let me pay attention, see where we're going.
Yeah,
This is fine. This is fine. We're still good here, and we're cruising at a decent speed. Let's see. So I think the Air Force
That's too
base
bad. I was
is
looking
over
forward
there.
to seeing the new Catalina.
So I do
That's
find it
cool.
a little weird. Okay, this is increasing again. No. Yes, this is increasing. So
Oh, but I mean, you
We've
could always
already passed.
change
Yeah.
change your
So
weather.
this is going. This is increasing, so that means that we've already passed that VOR. So I'm going to turn us a little bit towards this way, because according to the map, here's the VOR that we just passed, and we're going this way. It looks like we're kind of going out this way, so I just want to stay close to the edge there. So let's turn this just a little bit. Let's go to like
Yeah,
110.
I'm not too sure Catalina's
that's the
gonna happen,
actual-
boys.
That's the actual spot over there.
I'm up here at 5,500, just coming off the coastal route, and I can't even see it.
All right. So what we're trying to do
Yeah.
now that we have some
Maybe
time,
what, 4 miles?
bought
and
ourselves some
Nothing
time.
but clouds.
is
Like,
we need to.
I can just barely see the peak of the mountain.
Sorry, let me stop listening to the guys on Discord. Let's get into this LAX VOR 133.6. So let's go ahead and change it. So let's this is nav 1, which we don't need anymore, so we can just use that one. 133 and 660. All right, so that's the new one. This receiver picked it up, so we're 28 nautical miles from it. Now, what we're going to do is something different. Most of the times, we want to find the center of the VOR. Yeah, that was a little wild. Let's do it this way. Okay, so most of the times, thanks. You're welcome. I'm a little distracted. Sorry. Okay, so here is the center of where that next VOR is. If we take a look at here, it is off to our left a little bit. So here is that VOR, and it's off to our left. So we must be out here somewhere. So what we want to do in this case is we are trying to get into, let's open up the TAC. We're trying to get in on the 323 radio. So here's the radio for the VOR, and here is 0, which is also 360. And we want to come in at this 323 radio right here. So rather than figuring out where the center is, we're going to look at from. We change it to from. Well, sorry. We're going to change it to, this is, all right, so this is 30 or 300, and we want 323. So we want, so this is 31, 32, and 2323. So this is what we want to track. And as this gets closer to the center, then we're going to turn our plane in that direction, and then we'll be on the 323 radio. So now that we have that, we can kind of speed up again. We can kind of speed up since we have an idea of what we're getting ourselves into. So let me take it off autopilot. Okay. And take off the map. So let's see, where is that island? Can't see it. With VFR trips, you should be able to see the ground. Can't see with those clouds. But we can see over here that we're still on the East Coast. So let's continue following that route. So let's go ahead and pick up our RPMs back to 2300. Alright, that'll give us some power. The manifest, we can still leave that there. Whoa. This thing just pitched up. So there's probably a wind gust or something. Alright. Able to monitor that. So this peak, here's this peak right here. This is that point Dumais. So I believe the next point, we'll have to take a look because I didn't, we're at 6,000. Let's keep track of our height. Alright, so I'm going to put it back into autopilot. And let's set the heading for where we are right now. So I can head east. I'm going to set it for east. Put it back on autopilot. And let's also hold our altitude. So we're at 5,900 feet or 5,900 feet. Okay, let's go back to the sectional map and see where we are. Okay, so we've just passed Point Dumais. Malibu Beach is over here, and so past Point Dumais, so we're already in the space. So we should actually be pointing, rather than where I'm pointing now, which is straight east, we should be pointing more along inland. Let's go ahead and make an adjustment here. Gust from hell. Why not 100% throttle? So in this particular plane, it has something called manifold pressure, and I looked that up once, but I don't really remember what it is. The problem is that this plane allows you to go all the way to 41, where it has its max. And if you continue to go at its max, you're going to end up breaking the engine. And I accidentally did that in a flight once, and it was very interesting trying to recover from it. So really the reason why everything's not at 100% is because I'm managing my fuel. Let's see here. So right now I have fuel in the left and the right side of my tank. And actually that reminds me I should change. Whoops, just turned it on. Okay. So you want to balance things out, and on my right side I'm under 20 gallons and I'm over 20 gallons on my left. So every every 30 minutes, I should be switching the tanks. And at this point, let's see, we are 13 and a half nautical miles from the VOR. I think the airport is over there. So at this point, I am burning less than 10 gallons per hour in this configuration here. If I up the manifold pressure, you can see that it also burns more gas. So now I'm burning 11, 12, 13 gallons an hour. And my RPMs didn't change, but I guess the amount of power and whatever I'm using. So I can push it up some more to 40. I don't want to go to 41 because it will start to damage the engine. So because I'm kind of cruising and I want to manage my fuel, I'm going to pull it down some. Alright, so we're still headed east. We're at 5,900 feet. We're going to wait for this. Well, is that right? No. We're going to have to turn. I forget. We'll figure this out when we get there. Okay, so let's go back to, so what we're trying to do now, let me see what's happening out here. To figure out where Malibu Beach is. Hard for anyone to see. Okay, so there goes a port. Maybe that's Malibu Beach, hard to say. That was the point to Dune, so maybe that's Malibu Beach. So we have like 1, 2, 3, there's a peak. So let's look at our section, which I don't think I still didn't take it off the screen. So here's points. We've got 1, 2, 3 maybe. Maybe we've passed Malibu Beach, but we want to start going inland and hit up this entry right over here. What is this? The Nintendo Switch didn't explain it like that? Oh. Do they want you to do everything at 100%? So I'm looking at my screen and okay. I was looking at my monitor and I was wondering if the radio, if the nav aids were still on there. Alright, so now we're going inland. So there is. So now we want to try and figure out when this will start to. And actually, I could start. Let me take a look at my sectional just one more time. So, based on the sectional, it looks like right now would probably be a good time. I'm going to turn off autopilot just so I can make sure I'm making an adjustment. As you see, this is turning, so as soon as this is in the middle, that means we're on the 323 radio. And my nose is going down. Okay, so now I'm going to stay at the 323. Now I need to get my altitude under control. That means crazy. It's going wild. Okay. So now, so I think I might end up. Let's go back to autopilot because that's not. gonna set my altitude, and then I'm going to, and I was doing that mainly just to get the altitude set. Let's see what's going on here. So I think I've passed that 323 radio. So the 323 radio should be on my left. So this is in heading mode, so I'm changing my heading bug, and it's going to follow that bug. So I'm already at this port over here, so I think I've already screwed this up. Let me turn back on the section of map. So here's the port. Here's the port that I just passed. I'm supposed to be on this. I'm supposed to be to the right of that port. Alright, so let me stop. Let me take off autopilot. And I should be on the right hand side of that port. So let's do this manually. And then we'll have to mess with everything. So there's the port. And I need to be on the right hand side of that port. So in this case, I'm going to slow down because I think part of it is I'm going too fast. Hard to make corrections when you're speeding down the airway. Alright, I'm going to assume that I am there. It's hard to see behind me. So I'm below 5,500, so let's put my nose up. The VOR, I'm at a 1.5 nautical miles from that VOR. Let's try and keep that steady. Alright, trying to keep the pitch steady. And now I need to change my radio to 1, 2, 3, because that's our next one. 1, 2. So coincidentally, it's in the middle. Nope. No, it's not. Interesting. Okay, so it is to my left, so let's go ahead and turn. There's an airport behind me. And let's go ahead and turn because it was just a little bit. It wasn't too wild. So as we can see, we're getting to that 1, 2, 3 radio. Just need to get there. Without messing anything up. Oh no! As I was turning right, it was going away. Let's go back to our left. All right, okay, so we're headed in this direction. Let's try and keep the nose. All right, so we're steady. Okay. Now that we've kind of found it. Now it's getting away from us. Now I don't care anymore because it is on our right hand side, so we're just going to continue snaking around. Okay, so now we're getting back to it slowly. So let's continue going slowly until. All right. Looks like we're okay. let's lean to the left a little bit. Stop it from moving. Alright, so I'm thinking it's the 15. It's a 150. Radio. Heading. Let's go to 150. I'm gonna put heading. I'm gonna put autopilot back on, and that's roughly the route that we're gonna fly to get out of here. I'm gonna put the altitude hold on because we're 5,900 feet. We're just gonna stay there. And the plan was to get to St. Vincent Bridge and then head south towards Catlina Island. Gotta get back to work. I'll check the rest of the flight. Hey Kat, thanks for dropping by, and I hope you had fun as I snake my way through the LAX airspace. Alright, so let me make an adjustment. Don't need to see VPilot all the time. Okay, so the goal here is to fly 123 down to St. Vincent Bridge. So looking at the map, I'm going to guess that St. Vincent Bridge is over here somewhere. Well, actually, there's a bridge over here. So that has got to be the bridge. So I am way far off. I'm super duper far off. So let's take off autopilot. This is why you gotta do things manually sometimes. So there's the bridge over there. So that's St. Vincent Bridge. So we're gonna fly to the left a bit so that we can kind of look out the mirror or look out the window and see where it is. So at this point, let's start. My plane is still climbing, so let's start descending a little bit. Well, actually, no. Let's actually stay where we are because we should be in between 5,500 and I think it was 6,200 feet. LAX traffic, Piper, Tango Papa Charlie 444. Nope, I don't know what to say. Traveling southbound towards Vincent Bridge. So I was talking to CTAF, which is 122.8. That's basically common traffic. It's a common traffic for pilots to talk to each other so that they know what's going on around them. Because we don't have ATC control right now, then you typically use CTAF. Okay, so I don't know where that bridge is. It's hard to see anything underneath you. So let's actually do our wing. Ooh, I don't know where it is. Alright, I'm just going to make some assumptions. We're going to assume that we're underneath the bridge, or the bridge is underneath us. So let's start heading south to Catlina Island. Now this is interesting. There's a cloud here, and that's going to make this very difficult to see Catlina Island. I mean, right now, you can't even see it. I can't see it. We're just assuming that it's there. I know that it's there because I did a flight plan, or not even so. Let's open up the sectional chart and see what's going on. So here's St. Vincent, and here is, let's look at world VFR. Okay. So here is the bridge and traveling south, kind of like southwest. Traveling southwest, we should see a little bit southwest. So right now we're traveling southeast. So let's turn the plane. Oh, actually, you know what we can do, which is even better? It has a VOR. So we can point our VOR. We can point to that VOR, and that'll point us directly to the island. 111.4. So let's go ahead and try it. 111.4. There we go. Let's see if it registers. There we go. 21 nautical miles, 8 minutes. And in this one, let's find the center. We're going to use this one. This is easier to work with sometimes. There it is, a little bit southwest. So let's go ahead and turn the plane. Now, I'm going to put on autopilot for a minute so I can check my charts. This is, let's do 200. Let's set that. Alright, now this, I'm going to pitch the nose up because I noticed that it's going down. Try and stabilize it. We're at 4,200 feet. You don't want to climb, you just want to kind of stay steady. Okay, now the reason why I wanted to do that is to take a look at Santa Barbara, or Catlina. Catlina, let's look at that. Catlina has an elevation of 1,602. So even though we can't see anything now, we need to understand that this altimeter, it should be at 1,602, or in our case just 1,600, for us to see where to know where the airport is. Standard pattern for when you are flying a pattern over an airport is 1,000 feet above ground. So my goal is to get to 2,600 feet, and that way I'll know that I'm safe. Even though I can't see anything, I just have to kind of trust some of the data. So right now there's a lot of clouds. A lot of clouds. Alright, so let's go ahead and start. Let me take off the altitude hold. Let's start descending. We are 14 nautical miles out, so in about 6 minutes we are going to attempt to land in Catlina. Alright, so let's try and descend, and there seems to be a lot of wind. Oh my gosh, it is pushing the plane back up. It's almost like it doesn't want to penetrate the clouds. Oh, oh my gosh. It's not the wind. I had altitude. I had the altitude hold on, so it was the autopilot that was fighting me. Oh boy. Okay. So let's do a controlled descent at about 500 feet to 1,000. So I'm kind of rocking the trim wheel back and forth until I get like a sweet spot, and it still never really stays. You always have to keep an eye on it and adjust. Alright, so let's turn on our landing lights. And let's hope that we don't crash into the side of the mountain. Alright, so right now, based on the instruments, we can see that this yellow line is to the right of the airplane. So the center of the VOR is to our right. So we're off on the left-hand side. So if we wanted to, we could do a little bit of course correcting. So if nope, I'm not in heading, I'm not in autopilot. So it's not gonna, is it? I am an autopilot, okay. I'm an autopilot, so it is gonna do that. So actually, what I need to, oh boy, this is. So what I need to do is check. And let me put back on the sectional chart. I need to check what fields are available to me. So here is Catlina Airport, and it has a runway of 04 and 22. So I am in, so 22 would be the runway that I'm looking for right now. So runway 22. Alright, 52 minutes out. Let's check a look at our tanks. Still above 20, under 20, so at about 60 minutes, we'll switch it to the other tank. Alright, so this one is declining. We're at 2,400 feet, so let's get back up to 2,600. Oh, this is going to be super difficult. Alright, so let's go ahead and rely a lot on our instruments right now. So I want us to intercept this line. Whoa. The altitude is crazy. Okay, so now okay, so there's the island, kind of like Jurassic Park. And we're looking for runway 22, which is 220. So we're flying towards there, but right now this VRR says otherwise. So maybe we might end up having to do a fly around. So we're 4 nautical miles from that VOR. So let's see what's going on. This is super wild. Take some screenshots. Okay, so there's the airport right there. So let's go ahead and take off autopilot. We could go around. I'm going to Catlina Island, Piper Tango Papa Charlie 444, turning downwind runway 22. So I am. Because we're landing, I'm going to put my mixture up, put my propeller speed up, I'm going to put my throttle down. Or actually, let me put my propeller down some more. So there's a runway, and I'm already pretty high. So I'm trying to descend. Things are gonna happen fast. So I'm going to do a teardrop maneuver to get parallel. Is it parallel? I keep saying it wrong. Get parallel with this island, with the runway. And this mountain range doesn't help because the more rigid mountains you have, is the more unstable the wind is. So this this is actually pretty dangerous. So I don't know if you can see it. Oh, we are below it. We are below it. Oh, this is wild. Okay, so this actually might be a good thing. I can use this speed to put down my what's it called, my landing gear, and put one of my flaps up. So this is actually helpful. All right, there seems to be a plane already there. That's fine. So there's a lot of wind. So there's a lot of turbulence. So now I'm just trying to fight the turbulence, get over these mountains, and turn around to come into runway 22. And even though my plane is making a lot of noise, I'm only going 60 knots. So I have to make sure to maintain that speed. So from time to time, I'll be pushing up the throttle. Okay. So 1,600 feet is what's going on. I'm gonna try and be a little higher than that. Well, definitely be higher than that. I was going too high and I stalled a little bit there. Catlina traffic, Piper Tango Papa Charlie 444, turning on final runway 22. Okay, so now I'm going to need my instruments because I can't see anything. I have my bug set to 22. And I've lost 22. Altitude. I'm going to come in. There it is. That is rough. Okay. Let's get some more flaps going. This is going to be one of those hard landings. Stop playing with my trim. I've got my flaps all the way up. And now I'm managing power. I'm coming in too low. Coming in too low. No. Oh man, I crashed. Oh, that was rough. You know what's funny is these past couple of streams that I've been doing, I've crashed at least once in every stream. Okay, so that weather, that cloud system is no joke. It is dangerous. So in other scenarios, let's see if Catlina has any instruments for us. So if we go back to their chart or this web page, there's a procedures. So here is an instrument approach procedure where you have, I guess they have GPS, VOR or GPS. Let's see. So this is the VORTAC 111.4. Okay, so it looks like I could use GPS to land. So here at 3,100 feet, if I had the GPS equipment, then I could use that to capture the glide slope, and my autopilot would then get me as close as I need to in order to land. So this is where the instruments really are helpful. When you have the situation where you can't see, you could use this to help you get into alignment. All right, well, I didn't do that, and I died. All right, so let's try this again. Let's pretend that we landed safely. Ooh, boy, that is a pattern that I don't think I like. I'm turning off all my hardware switches. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. So they've turned on, oh, okay, I know what it's doing. So with this app, you have the ability to save your state, and I thought I liked it, but I don't like it. Because it basically turned on everything because my last state was me being on. Alright, so let's turn off some of this stuff. Okay. Buddy, let's turn on that brake. Alright, parking brake should have been on. Alright, so 122.8, we're good there. Everything else seems fine. Okay, so let's get back to this thing here. So we have this half baked we have this half baked plan. Okay, so what this is interesting, because what these experiences are showing me is that I need to know, I can't keep referring to my flight plan. So this is this browser window again represents me having a tablet in the plane. I'll be looking at the tablet while I'm flying, because some people do that. For this, I should know the height, I should know what angle I should be coming in. I should be studying these routes before I attempt them. And apparently I have not been doing that. So that's fine. Okay, so the second leg. We're gonna take off from Catlina, and we're going to the point that we're going for is Dana Point. So let's see here. That looks like Dana Point is roughly 6. I'll go with 65 Where's 70? So this is 6, 7, 8, 9. No, here's 9. So I think this is 5. 7, 75, 80, 85, 90. So these are 5. Okay. But I think it's 65. Let's go with 70. So we're going to use this VOR and we're going to set it so that 70, so that we are traveling on the 70 radio. So this is 111.4, which I think we already have. So here is the information. So now, because we are traveling from out of, is that right? Hold on. So because there's, with the tool you have to the radio and from the radio. And this one, it looks like it's from the radio, should be 70. But I think the from is actually here, the backside. Who knows? Okay, so now, let's figure this out. We are headed in a north direction. This is east, so we're headed to the northeast. So our heading should be northeast instead of 2. So 70 sounds like the right thing. Let's go ahead and adjust this. This is the radio, or the line that we want to be on. I'm assuming that it's going to be 70. Can I assume that? So this right here is the radio. Yeah. Let's see if it matches. So let's change our heading bug to 70. Okay. And we definitely need all of that because we can't see anything. Okay. So let's go ahead and try this again. Let's figure out what direction we're actually taking off from because of the wind. So let's get a METAR report. Catlina. So the wind is currently 260 at 14 knots. That's a strong wind. That might, that could play into why we died. But it's coming from 260, so 270 is west. So it's coming in from the west. And we have, what are the two airfields? Or the two... Catlina, okay, 22 and 04, so 22, I think 22 is going to be the best case scenario. Okay, so 22. 22 in this case is pointing this direction. So we're going to be starting from the left and coming out this way. So the wind is coming somewhere from that. Oh, actually, and you can see this windsock over here. This windsock is actually, maybe I have it all maybe I have it all wrong. The windsock shows that the wind is coming in this way. So I need to be taking off this way. So that way is, so that's 22. Because that's where my nose is going to be pointed. Okay. Alright. Good lord. Catlina traffic, Piper Tango Papa Charlie 444, taxiing to runway 22. Catlina traffic. So that was me using CTAF 122.8, and anyone who's in that area and listening to this frequency will have an idea that some airplane is going to be taxiing to runway 22. They should be careful. Alright, so let's go ahead and set our lights. Are my lights working? Strobe. No. Beacon. Nope. Okay. So I'm setting it manually. Alright. let's take off our brakes. Let's get going. Whoa, whoa, coming in fast. Kimosabi, calm down. Sounds like my fuel pump is still on. I hear it. So because this runway is short, I want to see if there is an entry point down here. Now I should know this, and let me stop messing around. Let's park. At this point you would pull out your charts that you have with you on paper, or if you have them in your electronic flight bag. So this is, where am I? KAVX. So let's go ahead and take a look at KAVX. And here we are. Okay, so let's look at... Ooh, they don't have all runways. Show me the runways. They don't have a diagram for this place. Nope, they don't. Okay, so we'll use this. Not the greatest, but it's something. So here we can see runway 22, which is where we're going. And we can see that this gray area, they do have a taxiway. So this was the one that I just passed, which was actually at the halfway mark. So I'm glad I'm going down here. I'm going down here in order to get to the end of this one. Okay, good. So I should know this stuff before I try and fly to this place. Whew. Alright, so this one is this been a little stressful. I mean, it's been a big learning curve, or learning. There's lots to take away from, which in the end makes me a better pilot. All right, let's slow this down a little bit. Alright, you don't want to cross these yellow lines until you have approval. We're going to be taking off, so we'll put up one flaps. Now, what I want to do is take a look at my flight plan, and make sure that I'm targeting the right altitude. So our next altitude is going to be somewhere between 3,300 and 4,700. So let's go for the middle. Let's go for, well, 4,000. Let's go for 4,000. Yes. So we're going to fly out. We're going to fly this way, and then we're going to turn around and go this 70 radial to Dana Point. And then we're going to fly along the coast and enter. We're going to fly over San Diego International. So here's the airport here. Basically, actually, let's check out the fly or the TAC. Which one? Let's go with the TAC. So here is the. We're basically going to fly the coast to this, this will be helpful. Actually, no, this was a temple, because I remember us talking about this temple. So here is a landmark that we won't see because of all the clouds. So here's the coast, and so stay close to the coast, and we should see this airport. We're going to fly over the airport at 4,000 feet, and then we're just going to keep flying. And and this is our destination over here. So after this lake, we'll make a left and head to that runway. And we're going to keep it that simple. So after this point, we're just going to stay on the coast, keep going to the coast. We're going to see hopefully we're going to see if it's clear enough, we'll see this. No, we'll actually pay attention to this. Yep. Okay, so now let's actually set this. Let's go ahead and set the VOR for Mission Bay 117.8. Let's go ahead and do it on nav 2 and see if I figured out how that works. Let's do that. What was it? 117? 117.8. So 17.8. Alright, so the idea here is that after we are finished with using nav 1, we'll switch to nav 2, which is this DME, digital measuring equipment. We're not in range, so it's not picking it up. Yeah, we're not in range, I think, so it's not picking it up. Here is nav 1. Let's see if anything changes with nav with this. It doesn't, so I think it's just connected to this. Okay, so this is for our autopilot. Okay, cool. So we have the 2. So this nav 2 over here, this will be, we'll see this move, and we'll have a from or a to when it's in range. Alright, let's do this. Let's try not to crash. Alright. Catlina traffic, Piper, Tango Papa Charlie 444, ready for takeoff, runway 22, Catlina traffic. Now that light is blinking. Why is that happening? Is that an indication that there's oncoming traffic? I don't see any lights. Okay. Now in this case, I am going to pull up and do the whole startup thing, because I don't have a lot of runway, so I need to utilize my runway properly. Alright, so let's go ahead and park. We have flaps 1. Let's go ahead and get this up. We don't want to get past 41. We're going to start our timer. Release the brake. And we're looking for the airspeed of 770. Airspeed's alive. Ooh, that wind is something, because it is pulling it's pitching the nose up already. Okay. Alright. Let's get our flaps down. Alright. Can't see anything. Let's just continue climbing at a safe. So let's go ahead and turn things around. Alright, let's continue climbing. Yeah, it's not safe down there. But we are going to try and point to that 70, but we're not on the 70 radio. Let's go ahead and turn a little bit and see if that dial turns with us. I'm gonna slow this down a little bit. So now we're headed north. I'm just looking to see, because I'm so used to only managing the center, I never manage the other radios. So there's some training opportunities there. Look at that! You can't even see the island. Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around and go south, and I'm assuming that the radio means that it's to the right of us. So I'm gonna pitch my nose up. I'm gonna turn it around. We're headed west. I'm gonna pitch it until we're heading south. Is it south or west? West. West is right. And I'm looking to see if the radio gets closer to the center. Well, I don't see it. So you know what? I'm fine. There's some training. There's some training to do. There's the island. There's the runway actually. So we haven't gone too far. So we are going to follow our heading north, east I mean, to 70. Even though I couldn't figure out exactly where that radio is. For safety reasons, we are going above 4,000. So this kind of puts a wrench in our plans because we can't see the coast. So one option could be to time it out. If I really knew the specs of the plane, I would look at the sectional chart and see how long, what's the distance in nautical miles from where we started to where we are, and then I would just use the timer to figure out if we are headed in the right direction. Alright, so I want to turn to the right. I want to see if this changes. So it looks like it's changing. So this is the 70 radio. So I mean, in theory, I think I get how it works, but I don't really get it. I think I need more practice with it. Okay, so we are headed east. We seem to be gunning it. It's gonna just manage some of our. Go ahead and manage some of our fuel flow here. 30. We're dipping with 3,500 feet. Try and climb back up to 4,000. Alright, let me open up to Discord and see if anyone's on. Everyone is off. Alright, so I will jump on. Alright, so now it's just me and you guys. Very interesting. Wow. So, I did do a practice run of this route, but at the time, it was clear weather. So, it was totally fine. I was able to see the coast. I was able to do what I thought I wanted to do. So, based on this, I believe the radial line that I'm looking for is to the left of me. So, turn a little bit there and see if it starts coming towards me. And they always tell you to attack your angle, your radials at 45 degree angle. So I am 2,500 feet. I need to get back into the sky. So it is going towards me. Let's start to do a controlled turn. And let's make sure that we're pitching the nose up. Every time you turn, the plane tends to dip its nose. So I'm kind of getting back onto that 7-0 radial. So in theory, I'm still doing what I originally planned to do. Alright, yes. So that looks like land. So maybe not all is lost. So what we're looking for is a peak. That'll give us an indication that we are where we thought we should be. Alright, so I'm at 2,800 feet, so let's try and climb to 4,000. Let's turn on the landing lights right now. Oh, that's pitot beat. So we're at 3,000 feet. Continue climbing. Seem to be steady right now. I think all that wind. Take a look at that, and I am disconnected, so I wasn't talking to anybody. Oh man, this happens all the time. I'm glad I took a look at it. So now I'm connected back to that signal. But there aren't any controllers on. It's disappointing. I wanted to try and practice some more with ATC. still good on gas. That manifold pressure up to gas. We're still good on fuel. And if I'm doing it right, we're still right at that 7-0 radio. I'm slightly proud of myself. Alright, so we're almost at 4,000. I think I'm gonna try not to rely on autopilot. Excuse me for the remainder of the flight. So let's pitch the nose down. Okay, surprisingly, it is not as violent as it was earlier, so happy about that. Just doing subtle tweaks on the trim wheel. So I'm going to not look at my section map for the rest of the flight. I'm just going to hope that I remember. And you know what's funny? I made a comment today about the sectional map, using it as reference and not making it a crutch. And even though I said that, I feel like me keep looking at my sectional chart. I've actually done the exact thing that I was talking about. I made my crutch. One of the funny things about this game is that because it's a 1-to-1 with the map, with the distance, if it takes you 30 minutes, it took me 15 minutes to get from Catlina Island to where I am now. And it's going to take you 15 minutes. You're just going to have to learn to be patient. And that has been a huge learning device for me, is being patient. Good thing is I can make mistakes in this game and crash and die, but I gotta be super patient when I finally get my pilot's license and I'm doing cross-country runs like this. Alright, so let's see. Are there any points? That might be the point. I didn't measure it out, and that's funny. So this is actually another lesson, and something I should probably start doing. I watched a video where the guy filled out a nav log, a log, I don't know, a flight plan. He created a flight plan, and he ended up doing a whole bunch. It was weather. It was the calculations that involved weather. That's what scared me. So I think that's why I may not have done it. But the point that I'm making is each one of his waypoints, he knew the time and the distance, calculated those. And if I did something like that, with each one of my waypoints, I would have known how long it would take to get there. So what it boils down to is I think I might need to really take this more seriously. Alright, so I'm going to assume that because we are at 7-0, that this right here is our first waypoint that we're looking for. So at this point we're going to travel the coast, look out for another airport, and then, oh right, that VOR. So we don't need this VOR anymore, so let's check out 2. Oh, so it already was on 2. Actually, let's make sure. 31, 35, okay, so that is going down. Let's see if this is, well, that's going up. Let's see if this one's going down. Okay, good. So we're about 45 nautical miles from that VOR. start riding the 130 radio to the VOR. This part I know how to do. it's the other one. Plenty of space. We are 4,500 feet right now, so let's try our best to stay at 4,000. Oh man, my tailbone is killing me. Alright, so let's change the So I'm not going to use the autopilot, but I am going to use the heading bug to kind of help me gauge where I am. So we're getting down to 4,000 slowly. That's good. Now there is another set of clouds. I've gotten super scared of clouds now. I'm veering off because I'm too busy taking pictures. Should be a lesson to all of you. Do not take pictures, pay attention to your friends. Okay, so here comes the patience part. We are 40 nautical miles. It'll take us 15 minutes at our current rate of speed. So at this point, like I said, I was not going to use autopilot, and now I've changed my mind. Alright, so we are at, let's get our altitude at 4,000. Alright, so if things are done right, we're at the radio, so let's see here. So 133, let's make an adjustment to 133. And we're doing good right now. 37 nautical miles, still 15 minutes, that's weird. We were at 40 before and it was still 15 minutes. Okay. Alright, so I clearly can't help it. Notice how I'm going back on everything that I just said. I'm going to stop looking at this chart, I'm going to stop doing this, stop doing that. So the only concern that I have is I'm trying to figure out how much land, like this looks like it's kind of far, looks like it's far, and I don't know if, because I can't see anything, over here, I don't know if it's going to come up to me. So I'm looking over here, and if I'm going this, actually, it's, which radio was it? It was over land, so it's going to. I shouldn't be bothered. It's going to keep. I'm going to come back. I should see land. We should be good. Actually, haha, now that I have autopilot on, now I can take pictures. What am I taking pictures of? More clouds. I wonder if... Yeah, it does work. So I did a couple of internal custom camera angles. Storage. As the co-pilot. So, looks like the center of the radio is now on our right-hand side. Let's go ahead and correct that. So 135 is where we should be flying towards. And you don't have to like make these minor adjustments every time. I'm doing it right now because I don't have anything else to do. But as long as you know that you're flying in that direction, and when this needle starts to turn, it's either the center is either to the right of you or to the left. Let's take a look here. We are currently using our right fuel. This is what we're going to do. RPM, third manifold, less than 10 gallons per hour. Feel good about that. We have amps, oil temperature, that's fine. The other thing I'm trying to learn how to manage is the heat of the engine. So let's see if we can actually optimize this. I'm going to take out some more fuel, which should make the engine hotter. Manifold pressure, and that makes the engine cool. So this is cool. I'm burning less fuel. Manifold pressure is what it is, but RPMs are still pretty high. So I mean, I think I'm good. Alright, so 24 nautical miles, 10 minutes. The ground speed is 140 knots right now, which is pretty dope. I'm looking for this to get to 0 nautical miles. So we're headed towards our VOR. Let's open up this chart again. So we're ending up riding on this VOR. Is this I mean, I want to say we can just keep riding this, because this is like one of the flyways. So here, this is one of the flyways that's there. So we can just keep doing this one. 3,400 to 4,600, so we're good. We can just continue just flying this straight. Yeah. So the question now is, because we can't see the bay. This has a VOR. But that, oh, no, alright. This is the airport, this is a VOR, so this is helpful. So we'll tap into this one, so 11645. 11645. So it looks like we're in VOR heaven right now. Okay, so we're using nav 2, so let's 11645. 11645 it is. Now, as we can see, it did pick it up because we have a 2. So if we were to attempt to fly there from this angle, this position, we would have to fly we'd have to fly 130 in order to get there directly. But we're not doing that. Alright, there goes some land up there. Alright, so let's make some adjustments here. We want to make sure we're in the middle. Let's go with 1. So I think there's some wind that I need to account for. So if I'm going 138, but I keep being pushed to the left, so I'm going to go 2 degrees, and we'll see if this changes. I'm being pushed, I think I'm being pushed to the right or to the left. I think I was being pushed I feel like I'm being pushed to the left, so the wind is coming from the right, pushing me to the left. So I need to point my nose more towards the wind so that I'm on that straight line. At this point, I don't have any indication as to where the wind is coming from. I could look at a METAR. I could look at a METAR, so let's do that. So the VOR that we are looking at is this one, the airport. Let's go with San Diego International. Why is this thing? Why is this one? What is happening? This is heading nav 2. Alright, let's take off. Why is this floating? Alright. This has happened before. Okay, I think it had, I don't know. Oh, that's wild. Let me try and get my pitch. Let me try and get my trim together. I'm using my heading bug to put me back into the mindset of where I was before. And I dropped 2,000 feet. Alright, so I don't know what happened there. That was wild. Alright, let's go ahead and climb. Climbing. I'm going to not rely on autopilot. I feel like I said this already. I'm going to not rely on autopilot. I'm going to fly this manually because something crazy just happened. So let's try and get back to 4,000 feet. I'm going to use my trim to hopefully gradually get me up there. We're at 2,500 feet. Climbing at roughly 1,000 feet per minute. stop climbing. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look at the vertical, what do I call it? Synthetic horizon. Let's see if I'm turning. So I don't see any airports. I'm still on the coast. Let's try and stable out our pitch. Okay. So, I mean, we were originally looking for. Let's go up. So we've passed our DME, our DOR. Now we're looking for. Alright, so I need the section of, because I need to figure out what radio to come in on. So I'm gonna come in on the 2-4. So from 2, I wanna come in to 2-4. So 2-4 is over here. So I'm going to like kind of try and guess as to when I should be turning. So that looks like a bay. Let's try that. So I'm going to be headed east. In all honesty, I don't really know where I am. Okay, so there was. So that little bit of land over there, I just looked at the sectional chart. I should be headed southeast. Should be headed southeast. My destination. And instead of the radio, I think what I want to do is figure out where the center is. So that I know that I want to be on the right side of that door. This has got to be the most foolhardy thing I've done. Now the funny thing is I don't know how to use the instruments in this plane to do a ILS or a GPS or an airport I'm going to, I don't even know how high it is. So let's see here. It's got a right approach. It's 526 feet. Okay, so I need to come in at 1,500 feet. Alright, so I'm headed east. Looking for some landing strips. That's not it, but there's one over there. Looks like there's one over there. And at this point, I don't really care what airport that is. I'm going to be landing at that airport right now. It's probably untowered. Oh, it is towered. Well, in this VATSIM world, it's untowered. So let's go with, what runway could that be? 08? Brown Field traffic, Piper, Tango Papa Charlie 444, on final, runway 08. Brown Field traffic. Alright, so let's do some power management here. Let's get some of this going. I'm gonna pitch my nose up a little bit to slow down so I can do my gear and then my flaps. Okay, I'm gonna put my propeller up to the max. I'm gonna put my landing lights on. And I'm gonna set my throttle to idle until I can get a good descent or a good angle. Coming in about 100 knots. There's an airfield over to my right. So even though my nose is down, my airspeed's kind of slowing up. I just need to manage that a little bit. I'm gonna put in another notch of flaps. Looking at my airspeed. Wheels are down. Everything's green. I don't have an indicator to see if I'm at the right glide slope. Just have to feel it out. I normally come in high, and there's a little bit of wind. Well, not wind, but a little bit of turbulence. So I'm aiming for the 2 white notches. So I think I'm coming in high. Let's put my power down some, and I'm going to dip my nose, or pitch my nose a little bit more. This runway seems huge. Seems like a huge runway. so let's hurry up and get off of the runway. Put your flaps back to status quo. Let's look for those yellow lines that indicate a taxi, and I think I see one. Hard to see at night for me. Easier in the daytime. Alright, so cross that threshold. Alright, and quote unquote we are safe. Let's go ahead and make an announcement. This is Brown Field traffic. Piper Tango Papa Charlie 444 cleared runway. Brown Field traffic. All right. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and find parking. It looked like all the planes were back on the back side there. So let's follow these yellow lines. I'm coming in a little fast. You know what? We do not need to be fancy. Let's just go ahead and park anywhere. Park next to this helicopter. Oh no, look, those two guys. They look like they're here to greet me. And the problem is, I don't know what side. I think the other side. Is that police officer here for me? I don't like the angle that they're trying to put me in right now. Yeah, I don't like that angle at all. That's fine. We'll just do whatever we want. Okay, that was, I think, the most stressful flight I've had. Let's go ahead and shut this plane down. Let me see here. Let's see what we can do from memory. So we want to turn off our electronics or our lights. So pitot heat can come off. Beacon, landing lights can come off. We'll need to turn off the magnetos so that there's no electricity going to the propeller. And then we can pull down the throttle, the prop, and then cut off fuel. There we go, so that's off. We do have some lights. We'll turn that off. Go. Let's turn off the cabin light. Alright, so let's see here. Turn off the autopilot stuff. That's there. This in off. Oop, that was not an off. Parking brake is on. Let's turn our fuel off. And then I think we can lastly just turn off. Well, we should be turning off the comms. Usually you would do this with your avionics master switch, but we don't have that. Turn off the transponder. Let's turn the volumes off. The radio comms, let me see here. Nav 1, really, I'll just nav. Well, let's just turn it all off. This DME, we turn it off. This, turn that off. So everything is off. Okay. And then now let's turn off the alternator and the battery. And we're going to, let's just click continue just to kind of sit here and just de-stress. Because this was definitely stressful. If we have any good pictures, nope, this is super desolate. Nothing really outstanding. Ooh, I do like that shot. Okay. All right, so let's do a quick recap here. Santa Barbara took off just fine. We skipped a lot of our checklist. We tried to get into the air. There were no comms. ATC was not available to us today, so we spent all of our time on CTAF. I did not check the weather, probably because I was rushing to take off, and then we saw that there was a bunch of clouds everywhere. After we took off, then we saw clouds, and the clouds were the main theme for the rest of the night. Trying to get into Catalina Island was terrible, and we actually crashed, so RIP to us. We tried to, I guess, understand or follow the radials for the VORs, so that was neat. I need to do some more studying on that. And then we learned to stop relying so much on our sectional charts. We should be studying our routes. We should do a complete flight plan in order to know how long it'll take you to get from one waypoint to the other. And I don't even know if this is the right airport that we're supposed to land at, but it's a public airport and we needed to land. It is not safe out there. We'll go ahead and Uber to some motel, sleep, and take off in the morning when the clouds are no longer there. Alright, gang. Well, thanks for your time. I hope you had fun. I hope this was, as much of an adventure to you as it was to me. So, I stream every Tuesdays with the Pilot Club, General Aviation Tuesday, where we do a lot of these VFR flights. And throughout the week, I'll pepper it with some Explorer missions, which are challenges from the Pilot Club to just basically try different airports. I'm also doing on-air company with the Pilot Club. I mean, everything I'm doing is with the Pilot Club. So that's one of the economy games where you kind of have to manage your airplane, the fees for parking, for fuel, all that stuff. And I think there's some other stuff, but I basically just, haphazardly, or no, ad hoc. I do some ad hoc streaming during the week, but guaranteed on Tuesdays I'll be here with the Pilot Club. Alright, so you have a good night, and I will see you next time.